It's 10 at night. You already ate dinner. You're not hungry. Not really. But you're standing in front of the pantry anyway. And somehow only the chips or the ice cream or the leftover cake sound right. Nothing healthy even crosses your mind. You tell yourself this is a lack of willpower. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain isn't failing you at night. It's running a very old program. And that program was never built for a world with a lit-up refrigerator inside easy reach. For most of human history, calories were scarce and unpredictable. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has spent decades studying how early humans survived on inconsistent food supplies, sometimes feast, often famine. A body that evolved under those conditions couldn't afford to be picky about calories. It needed to prize the densest, most energy-rich foods it could find, because those foods offered the best odds of surviving the next lean stretch. Fat and sugar weren't indulgences back then. They were the two most valuable substances a hungry human being could locate. Your brain still thinks that way. It just doesn't know the famine ended. So why does this craving specifically show up at night instead of any other time of day? Neuroscientist Satchin Panda has spent years researching the body's internal clock, and his research reveals something most people never learn about their own evening urges. Willpower itself runs on a biological rhythm. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for resisting temptation and making careful decisions, is sharpest in the morning and gradually depletes as the day goes on. By evening, after hours of decisions, stress, and self-control, that same region is running on fumes. Meanwhile, your more primal reward circuitry doesn't tire the same way. It just waits. Think of it like two systems on completely different schedules. One gets exhausted by 9 p.m. The other never clocks out. But here's where it gets stranger, because your evening cravings aren't only about willpower fading. They're about specific hormones actively working against you. Endocrinologist Eve Van Cauter has researched what happens to appetite hormones when people don't get enough sleep, and her findings are almost unsettling in their precision. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness to your brain, drops when you're sleep-deprived or simply worn down by a long day. Ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, rises. Your body isn't imagining that late-night pull toward the pantry. It's manufacturing it, chemically, on a schedule that has nothing to do with how much food is actually in your stomach. Your ancestors' bodies did this too, for a very good reason. A body preparing for a long night without access to food benefits from one last aggressive push to seek out calories before the lights go out. In a world with an actual food scarcity problem, that late push was protective. It topped you off before a long stretch where finding food would be difficult or dangerous. You don't have that problem anymore. The pantry is 3 steps away, and it's stocked, and the lights never actually go out. But the hormonal signal telling you to seek calories now, urgently, before nightfall, still fires exactly the way it did for 100,000 years. Now at the specific target of that craving, because it isn't random either. Neuroscientist Nora Volkow, who has spent her career studying reward and addiction, has found that sugar and fat in combination activate the brain's dopamine system with unusual intensity more than either one alone. Foods engineered to combine both, chips, ice cream, cookies, aren't accidentally appealing. They're hitting a reward pathway that evolution built to make high-calorie food feel irresistible, precisely because irresistible was the trait that used to keep you alive. Your ancestors never encountered a food that combined fat and sugar this efficiently, in this concentration, available at any hour, requiring zero effort to obtain. Nature never built that food. Modern food science did, and it built it by reverse engineering exactly what your ancient reward system was already primed to want. Here's the part that should genuinely change how you see your own late-night cravings. This isn't a personal failing happening at 10 p.m. specifically to you. It's 4 separate ancient systems, each one individually reasonable on its own terms, all converging on the same moment. A brain still braced for scarcity. A willpower center that runs out of fuel by evening. Hormones swinging in a pattern built for a world without refrigerators, and a reward system responding exactly as designed to foods engineered to trigger it. None of those systems know it's 2026. None of them know the famine your ancestors feared is not coming. They're just doing the jobs they were built to do, in a kitchen that didn't exist when the job description was written. So the next time you find yourself standing in front of an open pantry at 10 p.m., certain that only the sweet, salty, or fried thing will do, try not to treat it as evidence that something is wrong with you. It's evidence of exactly the opposite. Your body built a superbly effective survival system, and it's still working. It just never got the memo that the famine is over. You're not weak. You're ancient, and it's 10 p.m., and your ancestors would have done exactly what you're about to do.